bad things that are going on in the world that make you vulnerable, that all of you are probably aware of subconsciously or consciously, and just accept because nothing bad ever happens to me. Look up the song. So here we go. We're going to do a full scenario of everything I could come up with off of the top of my head, pulling it out of my ass. Yes, I like saying that in sequence because it's scary. You have a car, self-driving or not. It has an auto park feature, a cruise control, and a rear camera for detecting when you're about to run into something, so you don't have to use a rear view mirror. It might have a front camera in the form of a dash cam. It might have an automatic brake application function at speed so that you can't impact the car ahead of you to keep you a safe distance away, especially if they brake check you for an insurance scam, which is the reason you probably have that dash cam. You have a cell phone in your car that you use that you've totally haven't paired with the car, paired with a set of headphones, paired with your AirTags. The car has a stereo system or anything else that could be tied to it. So can the dash cam. Your key fob is RF. What else can I throw in here? And the rear camera totally can't be broken in through. And you had it serviced recently, so they auto-updated the software on it. Your cell phone has been auto-updated. You had to auto-update because the computer is required for some god-awful reason. Your Raycon earbuds, which are also paired, and your dash cam has gone woke wireless and therefore has updated itself. And while we're at it, you went in for service and repair, and they left the diagnostic dongle on the only wired connection to the I2C bus. And you're using every form of social media. I use every form of multimedia website. That's what they're called now. Or self-broadcast or podcasting for YouTube-like behavior, which is social media. Google and YouTube at one time required you send them a copy of your picture ID to maintain your account. They required you to use your full legal name on your account at one time because that was their idea of being secure. Amazon is notorious for refusing to pay their employees a decent wage. And ex-employees who've gone on record publicly and dared Amazon to sue them for whistleblowing, because that's really going to look bad, because that would confirm they're saying something factual. Whistleblowing about a company implies in court that it's factual. Them saying, yeah, we're given a bunch of rules to keep information isolated from itself. We can look up your name, but we can't look up your social security number. We can't look up your credit card number at the same time. But when they have to solve a problem, they're told, don't do these things because it would make it to where you can get this done quickly, and you have 2 minutes to do it, or we're going to dock your pay, and you're not getting your kids' dental work done. Meanwhile, Larry, Moe, and John, it's always John, are all on the same terminals next to each other, each logged in with 3 completely different levels of security to isolate this data into 3 data blocks, but they don't log out because they have to keep switching back and forth to get the data so they can type it in to solve your problem. Instead of wasting time transferring, which they explicitly say you have to do, but then they don't give you a good paycheck because you actually followed their fucking rules. Hey, we did our job. We made rules that were impossible to follow. Meanwhile, we'll say it's Mo because we knew it was John, but it's got to be Mo. Larry and Curly are different, but anyway. He decides to sell the entire database or leak it, or just finds out who Amazon sold the whole database to, but they lied to you about, and it's totally been expunged of any connecting data. No. And then after it's sold on the black market, or just shared because someone decided to make, again, this is a company where they don't pay people enough money, so they're like, if I sell this, I can get $1 million and have fuck you money and go run away. And they won't tell anybody because they don't want anybody to know that they sold a database they bought from Amazon. Well, now it's on the internet and they're selling it for $100,000 a pop. And then later on it's $10,000. Later on it's $1,000. Now it's approachable by your local neighborhood homeowners association wants dirt on you. Now it's fine-grained database. You can just type in and look up. And that's just Amazon being leaked. Okay, now we're at the 5-minute and 15-second mark. Here we go. Why would you think a government would need to do literally anything to gain access to all your data on a minute-by-minute, almost real-time basis? Why would you assume that? They just buy it. They set up an LLC and buy the shit. Every company. They just buy all the data and then coordinate all the information and remesh it back together again to make perfectly clean profiles by doing this. Your cell phone isn't being tracked by the fucking towers. It's not being tracked by satellites. It's receiving the satellite noise data that is interference-based to figure out its location down to plus or minus, in some cases, 1 inch. That includes that drone you bought that can be so precise as to do eye level versus nose level, and you can tell the difference. That has face tracking and can follow you in a forest. Yeah, that's the level of GPS functionality your cell phone has. And it's been spitting data back for as long as they were able to mine that because, well, we want to know what store you went to. And we need better than 3 feet to figure out where you were looking because we figure out which way you're looking. Because we can figure out which way you're turning. Oh, and by the way, it has a camera and microphone in it. Multiple cameras. But the government is what you worry about. Next, retroactively taking all that data, unless you do what I used to call the poor man's witness protection program, where you clobber all of your current life. It comes to a lead pipe short, the brick wall, no data, and then you start up again, isolating yourself to where you suddenly just disappear and become really suspicious to the FBI. And even they have trouble finding you, unless you're going to go do that. All that information from 4 years ago still applies because humans are creatures of habit. Unless you have major changes, oh yeah, COVID happened. But most of you tried to stick with your patterns of behavior. There's a profile out there that can predict what you're going to do pretty close to perfectly for about a half hour ahead of time. And over a long enough time, it can correct errors and get it to a full itinerary every day. How do I know that? Look at what you do during a month. Just make notes of everything. You can use your cell phone to track you. And you notice that there's apps for that? Yeah, herp derp. Yeah, you can have your cell phone track you and give you the information on what you might want to correct in your life. How many steps you took per day. How often you ate. Whatever. Oh, just tie it to the bank account and e-pay everything with Google Pay because that's a fucking awesome idea. Or Apple Pay. That's even better. Is the sarcasm 50 feet thick yet? But no, it's the government you have to worry about. It's random people in the street that you never see more than twice in your life that you might be paranoid about or may not be paranoid about. It's your next door neighbors that you need to be on your side. You should be paranoid and antagonistic too. You have Ring cameras, don't you? Some of you, right? I did a video recently about making a backrooms item where you'd throw it up on the ceiling lights in the backrooms. It's a meme on the internet. Go look it up. And use the light from it to run a solar cell that would run a Wi-Fi repeater using a little circuit to make sure it charged the battery fully, no matter how dim the light was, and run the repeater only unneeded, and it would be on standby and never go bad, and you could just use really high reliability batteries. I specifically picked a type of battery that takes forever to go bad. But if you didn't care about, longevity, you can make something that lasted 5 years that's the size of an actual goddamn silver dollar and stick it anywhere. Actually, I can get it down to a quarter. I even found a ready-made version, if you want to spend the money, that's the size of a sugar cube. And it had a video camera. And it was literally a solar-powered Wi-Fi hotspot with a camera in it. Yeah. There's even a 360 one if you want to. It's just bigger. It's a golf ball size. You hang it in a tree like a Christmas ornament, and it just keeps track of everybody going by. So let's worry about government. Let's worry about the cops. Let's worry about somebody who keeps going by every day. Yeah, because it's a cop patrolling your area. That actually makes it a lot safer as long as they're not out to get anybody. Your mailman. This is a corollary to another video I did on my channel about targeted individuals and gang stalking being a meme, and it should stay that way in your head just for sake of argument, versus actual stalking. Now let's bring up actual gang stalking incidents. The Chinese government, the Russian government, any government that's totalitarian that people escape from will get people who are either sympathizers or just have them literally emigrate to whatever country those people went to and go fuck with them. The Chinese government has been caught setting up their own private versions of police forces in the United States to go follow people and make sure they know they're followed, to literally do the meme of gang stalking to them. The problem with this is that the FBI and everybody else is very much aware this is happening because they're not trying to hide themselves. So there's no question it's happening. It's not that complicated. Like on your car, you can have a rear gear in gear. Rear in gear, I'm going to make a company name. Camera on the back of your baseball cap, whatever, to look at people following you and keep track of them, or put it on your belt, or you know, whatever, and facing forward, and just body cam yourself. It's called surveillance, using a French word, means self-surveillance. You can record everybody who's watching you and make a record of it, and then just walk in and say, these are the people who keep following me, no matter if I take different routes and different timings. They're obviously handing off every block or so. It's an actual serious following me thing, like out of a bad novel. Are you going to do anything about it or not? Well, we can't really, you know, like, not that this ever happened to me. Okay. Once this breaks and your recording of you saying you're going to do nothing, okay, we'll take your data. I'm going to post it anyway. Your first instinct is to tell me to go fuck myself. They're not working with you guys, are they? No. Okay, well, are you going to check on that? Now they have to check to see if they got some op going on. Because, yes, your government does this shit once in a while. But they're doing surveillance only. I know it sounds like a cop-out. But that does happen, and it's done to, is the person doing anything suspicious? Except for trying to get away from us? No. Any PI and a lot of other people who want to be PIs on YouTube, God help you, don't get these people on you, will go out and, this is actually an example of stalking, but it's legal because they get a permit for it. It's called it's called various things. But the point is, that they have to check on that because suddenly they realize, yeah, it could be one of our people and we just don't know because they don't talk to each other. The Chinese government has been caught doing this to dissidents that escaped China and went to any country that you can come up with, unless they make it impossible to find themselves, and then they get found eventually anyway. Because someone used a dash cam video they saw, or someone's Ring camera they broke into. Or they just paid for the data. Yeah, the people who make your Ring camera and all the other shit, they're going to sell data. Well, it's anonymized. Right, sure it is. They never make mistakes or just sell it for a little extra if you have a non-disclosure agreement. By the way, there was a toy that you could buy for your kid that would spy on them and get hacked. That wasn't even on purpose. It was just an accident. Do you put tape over your camera on your computer? Do you do the same thing on your cell phone? Did you look at the Snowden video where he told you to disconnect all that shit, making the phone just a phone, making it to where you have to plug in mechanical, electrical cell phone headphones? Did you notice Apple removed that possibility? Raycon headphones, totally not a hacked version of a cheap $5 set of headphones you can buy yourself and find out, oh yeah, they have extra parts and they can be broken into. Making yourself aware of real threats you don't care about versus the ones you fixate on because you're told to by the system and the internet. This is level 1, because they're all level 1, in learning how to be professionally paranoid and blasé on a normal level like you should be. Next, how to be invisible on the internet, not by JJ Luna, but by Waptek, may be a video I have to do. Because it's not the internet. You'd have to clobber all records of you working somewhere, carry ID that's outdated, and a bunch of other things. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Good luck with that. That's another video.